Welcome to a special edition of the Pick Six podcast. My name is Josh Edwards, and I am joined by first round hopeful and Arkansas wide receiver Treylon Burks, who has been training in Florida in preparation for the 2022 NFL draft. So, Treylon, how are you doing? How's preparation going for you so far?
It's really going good. I'm actually in Dallas, Texas at Frisco's Exos. Training's going really good. We get out there every day, Monday through Saturday. We train our butts off every day from 8:30 to 3:30, and it's fun.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you get to focus on football now, so that's got to be
Right.
a good change of pace. But now your career at Arkansas has been very interesting. Obviously, you guys had some lean years in the beginning, and then Coach Pittman comes in. You guys get things changed around. So, what's it been like to be a part of that program over the last couple of years and see that transition for the Razorbacks moving forward?
Really, it's just mind blowing just to know you were a part of something that was a 2-10 team. Everybody wanted to play you just because they know they would beat you, and just knowing now that you've changed the culture in there to where when a team sees you, they're like, that's not the same Arkansas. You're gonna have to come out here. You're gonna have to fight through full 4 quarters and play a really good team. And I thank Coach Pittman for that, for bringing his culture into Arkansas and just changing it for us.
Yeah, so you guys went from the team that schools tried to schedule for homecoming
Right,
to the team that nobody wanted to see by the time you graduated.
right.
So, yeah, you guys were fantastic this year. But, looking at how you were productive for that team over the past couple of years, obviously most of your touches came out of the slot. I had 82 total touches for you last year, 49 out of the slot, 19 wide, 9 out of the backfield, and 5 tight. So, what if a team wants to use you a little bit more wide? I mean, are you comfortable playing out there, and how do you feel like you would transition in that kind of a role?
Oh yeah, I'm a player that I can play anywhere. I'll go play anywhere. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just the type of player. I do everything that I can just to get the ball in my hands and just to make something happen. Really playing out wide, there's really no difference than playing inside. You just split out wide and you're out there by yourself, which is better in my opinion. You're out there on the island and you just go up and make plays.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of wide receivers have success early in their careers to this point. One team that, could be in the mix for you is the Browns. They run kind of a run heavy type of offense.
Right.
What is your comfort level with being a blocker? What's your mindset as a blocker if you do go to a more of a wide zone scheme that's going to use you out in space?
Right. Really blocking is the main thing as a wideout. As a receiver, you have to know how to block before you can get the ball. That's one thing that we stressed at Arkansas. If you didn't block, you wasn't getting the ball, or you really wasn't touching the field, honestly. And we stressed that big, and blocking is not an issue for me. I'll do anything just to help the team win, and I'm just a team player.
Yeah, so kind of going back to what I was talking about, you look at Jamar Chase this past year, you look at Justin Jefferson the prior year. I mean, there were a ton of wide receivers this year that were
Right.
fantastic, whether it was Devontae, whether it was Jalen Waddle down in Miami. So, what are your expectations coming into the NFL for your rookie season?
Really just to get on one of those 32 teams and just to give them confidence, and so they'll have confidence in me. Just knowing, just to let them know that they have a wide out there that will go up and make plays when the time's needed, or if they need a first down, they know that they have a slot or outside receiver that can go get that first down for them. That's what I just want teams to know, that I'll do anything just to help the team.
Yeah, so we had the opportunity to interview Roger McCreary from Auburn earlier this week, a guy that I'm sure you're familiar with,
Right, right, right,
being in the SEC
right.
West. So he was able to explain a little bit to us about what makes you so difficult to play against.
Right.
Your combination of size and speed. So I'm just curious, like pre-snap, what are you looking at? What are you trying to identify for the snap when you're looking across the line of scrimmage at your opponent?
So pre-snap, the first thing I look at is my triangle. Who's inside, who's over the top, and who's outside of me. And then after that, I figure out. Then I'll figure out what type of coverage that they're in, and then after that, then it's go time. You tell yourself, you fixing to go make a play, and you just go do it. Really, there's really nothing to it. the more you think about things while you're out there playing is when you make mistakes, I would say. You just go out there level headed, knowing that, you're gonna go play your game, and you're gonna do everything just to help your team win.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I think it offers some really good insight to fans into what you are thinking, should
Right.
you go to their team of choice this coming year.
Right.
Not that that last question was to give you any kind of a way of thinking for this next
Oh
question, but
yeah,
over the
yeah.
course of your SEC career, you've played against some very good talent on a weekly basis. So, was there one cornerback that maybe gave you, or a safety or whoever that maybe gave you some more challenges, had some of those good battles on a weekly basis in the SEC?
Really, I would say Roger was one, and then also Malachi Moore. I think he's a sophomore going into his junior year from
Right.
Alabama. He was really good, and those are when I got ready to play teams like that. I always would go back and watch film on the years past when I played them, and just to see things that I could correct, and things that they were looking at on me that I could fix or manipulate to mess them up on whatever they were, trying to stop me at.
Yeah. So moving to the next level, you might have Darius Slay opposite you. You might
Right,
have Jalen Ramsey. You might have Kenny Moore. You name it. The talent
right,
is going to be competitive on a weekly basis, much like what you saw in the SEC. So,
correct.
how does that weekly preparation, getting into a ritual of knowing that you're going to play against some elite talent on a weekly basis, how does that prepare you for the next level?
Really, just playing in the SEC, it's prepared me every week, and just to know that you're going against the best of the best every weekend, and you just go out there, and you use your tools from the practices and the film time that you had, and you just go out there and use those on the field, and just go play ball.
So, obviously it was a given that you would be invited to the NFL Combine, but I'm sure growing up, that had to be a dream. It
Yeah,
had to
it was
be
always
for sure. So it's the ultimate recognition of your
right.
talent and what you've been able to accomplish throughout your collegiate career. So I'm just curious, what has the pre-draft process been like for you, and what was it like to finally get that invitation to the Combine, knowing that you're firmly on the NFL's radar?
Really, the pre-draft process has really been very important. Just to know that, all right, it's teams already know that you can go out there and play on the field, but also it's a time where you can sit back and just show them like what type of person you really are. Like, are you a person that goes out every weekend, get in trouble when you have off time or things like that? And it's just prepared me and made me much more of a man, and just to know that things are getting serious. Time's getting short. The draft's March. Well, the draft is in April 14th. Combines March 1st. So you just have to sit back and just buckle down and focus on that one thing and your one goal.
Yeah, no question. And obviously, you'll have the opportunity to
Right.
sit down with teams later this month into March. If they
Right.
have any questions left unanswered about, who you are as a person and as a player. So, what questions do you feel like teams might have for you when you do sit down and have the chance to speak with them?
Honestly, I just think like teams will have just they would just want to know like who am I? What type of person am I? Am I a troublemaker? Do I will I make their organization look bad? And no, the answer to that is no. I'm a very respectful person. I care about everybody's opinion. I give everybody a chance. I sit and listen to anybody. And I'm a team player. I always put the team first, no matter how big I am, how small it is. I put everybody first, and I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah, you sat here and listened to me this whole time, so that
Right.
certainly checks out.
Yeah.
um, you know, Part of the process is NFL comparisons.
Right.
Comparing players to guys that are already in the NFL and maybe have already retired and moved on in their
Right.
lives. I'm sure you've heard comparisons to a variety of players in terms of your skill set and
Right.
what you bring to the football field. How do you approach comparisons? I mean, is it flattering to you? Is it something that you actually look at and take pride in, or what's kind of your mindset seeing some of these comparisons for you? And have you seen any comparisons to this point?
Really, like I just use it as motivation, honestly. Just so when like somebody would say like, "Oh, he plays like DK Metcalf or AJ Brown," I just use it as, okay, they think I play like him, but I want to show them that I'm going to be better. You know what I mean? And I look at film tape and on those type of guys, and I just critique things that I think could have been done better, and I actually use some of their game in my game, and just make it better, and things like that. And it just helps you in the player, and then it just helps you as a better to be a better athlete, I would say.
So, do you feel like there is a player, current or former, that resembles your game?
Yeah, I would say like a DK Metcalf or AJ Brown, Julio Jones type.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see AJ Brown. Size and speed combination for sure. That's
Oh,
been
and
a
then
very
another one like Deebo Samuel. Just knowing that
okay.
Deebo, he plays everywhere, all across the field, and that's something that I do and that I did in college. And there's a comparison in that too.
No question. That's kind of interesting. Bringing up Deebo, obviously, different stature, different body types,
Right.
but players that can be used in a variety of ways. I think the fact that we've seen Deebo line up in the backfield, he's in the slot, he's out wide. I mean, they use him all over the formation.
Right.
How difficult does that make for a defense, having the game plan for that, not knowing where you are going to line up and, whether or not you're going to touch the ball?
Honestly, it makes it pretty hard just knowing that, and obviously it makes it easier on us just because there's plays that you can get the ball in your hand and go make something happen. And when it's a player like that and the defense has to worry about something like that, other people on the offense will be wide open because they're always game planning around that one person. Just say for instance, I'm out of the backfield and I run a flat route. That corner or curl route might be wide open just because the safety or linebacker might come down and bite on me. And there's things like that that helps and makes it different for defenses.
I'm curious about your background because, we're touching on your versatility
Right.
now. You played baseball, you played basketball in high school, if I read your bio correctly.
Right.
How do you feel like being a multi-sport athlete enables you to be comfortable doing some of those things that maybe other football players are unable to? And how do you feel like those sports, particularly basketball, has been able to transition to the football field?
Really, I would say basketball and baseball has really helped me transition to the football field just by just knowing that I played center field in baseball, and I played the four in basketball, and just knowing like baseball, I had to track a little white ball all day long and to high point it, catch the ball, and then in basketball, I had to high point the basketball when it's coming off the rim to get a rebound. It's things like that that transfer over to football, and I just think playing that many sports has helped me get in like many positions that I've never been able to, and I just think it's helped out a lot.
I think cross training is important. I think,
Right.
when you look at some of the other draft prospects in this class, offensive linemen, you love to see a wrestling background.
Right.
Drake London in your class alone played a little bit at USC. You can see
Right.
that in the way that he plays the game, using his body to box out defenders. But
Right.
I'm curious, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, all of these other names that,
Right.
I see in mock drafts weekly. I know you see them as well. How do you pay attention to where other guys are projected to go, and do you feel like you're the guy that should be taken first among that group?
No, sir, not at all. I look at it as if they're supposed to go, they're gonna go. You know what I mean? And I work on what I need to work on. I'm not worried about nobody else. I'm not really worried about what the mock drafts or anything says. I'm just waiting till the day that my name is called, and just to be grateful that I'm in this position that I am.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at previous NFL drafts with AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, where they were drafted, Deebo, it's not about where you're picked. You
Exactly.
can still have a very successful career, and sometimes it
Correct.
ends up being more beneficial to you to be
Right.
drafted into a better situation. So
Right.
I do think that's one thing that kind of gets overblown throughout the process. But
Right.
it's good that you have that kind of a mindset to it, because at the end of the day, it's kind of out of your control.
Exactly.
So, where do you feel like you are in combine preparation to this point, and do you feel like you're going to turn some heads in Indianapolis?
We still have 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks left, and there's things that I still need to get better on, and I just take it day by day, and whenever we get to the combine March 1st, then everybody will see what I can do, and if heads are turned, heads are turned. If they're not, they're not. Then it was just meant to be.
I think people are going to be surprised by
Oh yeah, definitely.
by your size and what you're capable of doing for sure. So I have no doubt that you're going to be able to turn some heads. But
Right.
Treylon, I appreciate you taking the time, man. I know you got a busy schedule with training and nutrition and interviews and all that kind of stuff, but we appreciate you taking the time. Wish you nothing but the best of luck in your pre-draft process and obviously throughout your career on Sundays. So
Yes, sir. I thank you for this opportunity.
absolutely, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.